1 minute and 9 seconds of credits set against an aerial tour of Mario Kart's Rainbow Road?
Outside of the world you know.
Loki oration.
But once, each winter, the All-Father must rest. While Odin slumbers, his absence leaves Asgard vulnerable.
Well, then why is this public knowledge? Wouldn't you want to hide this vulnerability as much as possible? Like, no, Odin isn't sleeping, he's unavailable because he's binging every episode of The Sopranos, or washing his tights, or hiding in shame because he can't quite believe he went from Silence of the Lambs to Thor the Dark World. I hope these are some magical flaming trebuchets. Otherwise, why would these dumbasses think they could break into a city of gods with a bit of accelerated wood and fire?
My arrogant, oafish brute of a stepbrother.
Loki's narration is all reverent and right up to the point the movie wants to reveal this is Loki. I mean, sure, it looks pretty, but allowing a tree to cuddle your castle is a terrible idea. Every morning you'll wake up to a chorus of birds chirping inside your skull, constant maintenance fees to fix the brickwork, and absolutely zero sunlight for half of the day because some asshole didn't plant it on the north or south side of the castle. Amateurs.
Where am I?
Why did Loki wait until Banner had woken up to restrain it? What if he'd had a nightmare and hulked out in his sleep? You know that happens every so often.
You have been brought to Asgard, because in all the universe, only you have ever brought near defeat to the mighty Thor.
I have no idea why Loki is explaining his plan to Banner. He's not looking for a team-up, and it's not like he's trying to rub it in as a punishment. Banner is a worm to Loki. This is just for us, isn't it?
Tell us, Volstagg, are you going to dispatch that troll beneath you, or are you saving him for dinner?
Resting your Asgardian on a troll without their explicit consent.
I've still slain more than thee, Fandral.
But we shall see whom the maidens reward more.
Basing your worth on the amount of maidens who choose to blow you. I wonder what they call blowjobs on Asgard. Oh, why did I just type that into my Google search?
How many of our brothers and sisters have fallen to this madness? Must we be chained to this eternal struggle?
Thor is brooding about the melancholy of the never-ending cycle of war and peace and war, and when do we get to see Hulk smash the puny god?
When the cycle does break, when things do change, then comes the end of days. Then comes Ragnarok.
And then comes Love and Thunder, and we all know how that turned out.
I seem to have forgotten the frailty of mortals.
First off, how is that possible? And secondly, Loki, you knocked him across the room and Bruce is still hanging in there. There is no frailty to be seen in this sequence of events. Bruce doesn't even shed a tear.
I wish you weren't a liar.
I feel like there's something about Amora that's supposed to catch my eye or draw my attention, but it's so subtle. I can't quite figure out what it is.
No. That isn't possible.
You would think so, but nope. She just pulled Bruce Banner out of the Hulk as if they're two separate beings, and the movie will never explain why that's a thing now. It appears Hulk has every intention of killing Bruce here, and it would only take him a second to crush his head, but Hulk waits until Amora continues with her spell for reasons?
One last troll with dreams of conquest?
Perhaps.
That is clearly not a f***ing troll, and these three should f***ing know that. Look, the Asgardians describe themselves as gods, but they're essentially super powerful aliens, which means they aren't indestructible, right? What I'm saying is, wouldn't this be more impactful if we knew what could hurt or kill them? Why are the gates to Asgard, home of the gods, made of what looks like materials I could buy from Home Depot? I know this is a log thrown by the Hulk, but it's still just a wooden log. I don't care how hard you throw a sponge, it's only going to break through a gate that's also made of sponge. Also, what happened to those badass wizards that we saw earlier? Is a little "you shall not pass" too much to ask for?
You will have to kill me, monster, for I shall not yield.
How did he not already kill you? That one punch should have done it. Thor's Hammer X smashing up. Thor will get out of this impressive display of Hulk robotics by, well, flying out of it, because he can, well, fly. And that is super smart. So here are 20 sins to cover all the times Thor doesn't use flying to his advantage for the rest of the movie.
Why have you come here?
Why, to kill you, of course, dear stepbrother.
Loki?
Why is Loki giving up his deception this soon? Let Thor think Banner is inside there, so he'll keep trying to talk him out of it while getting killed. F***ing egos, man. Yeah, something, uninteresting love triangle, but Amora's sudden change of heart makes zero sense. I guess when you've only got 45 minutes to tell a story, you've got to fast forward through some of this shit. I'm sure Hulk vs. Wolverine will do a much better job of managing its time and not add in a bunch of unneeded characters and flashback to Wolverine's origin. I'm so glad that won't happen. Damn it, Thor, why aren't you using your thunder and lightning powers? Are you Thor, the god of hammers? Statue insurance must be through the roof in Asgard.
Rise, cursed hammer!
How does Loki think Bruce Force is going to work here? How does Loki know everything about Asgard, Thor, and Odin, but apparently still has no clue how Mjolnir works?
Loki, enough! Your own rage fuels the beast. I can feel the spell breaking.
Because, of course, the super powerful spell that does exactly what the villain needs it to do also has a very specific flaw that is only revealed to him at the most inconvenient moment.
Truly, this is the best of both worlds.
Hopefully it's part 1, because part 2 kind of sucks.
I find your prattling useless, mortal, just as you are now useless to me.
Okay, I would be very tempted to give a sin removal to acknowledge one of the very rare occasions when a villain has actually killed a hostage once they aren't needed anymore. But instead, I'll be sinning this as a contrived reason to force Loki and Thor to go play in hell to get him back. Yay, more punchy nonsense between two superheroes who are, for the most part, evenly matched. Who should win? Who cares? Somehow Hulk's punch here also served as a courtesy wipe for Thor's face because he no longer has the blood on it that was clearly visible in the previous shot.
For Odin! For Asgard!
Here's a sin for not making this whole thing R-rated. If I'm gonna watch Hulk fight Thor, I want to hear expletives and see limbs ripped from bone, not a trickle of red paint and a forsooth thou hast hated the honor upon which thine own self hath doth. Arrgh! We have no idea why Hulk decides to run toward the bright light of the Odin sleep, considering he usually just wants to be left alone.
I was angered when you chose Sif over me. I wanted thy love, not your death.
So naturally, I teamed up with your evil stepbrother, pulled the mortal soul out of a green muscle monster, and cast a spell that would allow said stepbrother to control said monster and kick the Odin sleeping shit out of everyone you love and hold dear. Wanna Also, Amora has been knocked down from a badass sorceress to a whiny kid who's upset the boy she likes chose to be with someone else. Awesome.
Please come back to me.
Holy shit, did she just bring him back to life with a kiss? He died! How f***ing powerful is she? And why isn't she using this power to rule the galaxy? Glad you whipped out that sword before the doors closed, Sif. That seemed totally necessary.
Because the mortal died here, Hela claimed his soul. Without Bruce Banner, the Hulk cannot leave Asgard.
Who made these rules up, and why does Amora know them? In fact, wouldn't this have been something she should have told Loki before they f***ed themselves? I really wish villains would talk out all the possible consequences before they start these endeavors. It would save me a bunch of time.
I saw the beast's eyes, brother.
Oh, you saw the eyes, did you? Tell me, Thor, were they evil eyes? Were they the blackest eyes? Were they the devil's eyes? Is the Hulk Michael Myers? No, seriously, is the Hulk Michael Myers?
It will not stop until all of Asgard is destroyed, until Odin is broken.
But why? What the f*** does Hulk care about Odin? How the f*** does he even know what an Odin is? She can f***ing teleport too? Why isn't she king of Asgard? I feel like Sif should have gotten a heads up on Amora coming to see her. What if they didn't believe her and straight up killed Amora?
Dost thou see any newly arrived friends here, brother?
Wait, why would Thor see anyone he recognizes? Shouldn't everyone on Thor's side have ended up in Valhalla?
I don't understand.
That makes both of us, Brucey. Why would his version of hell be a beautiful home that he shares with Betty Ross and their child? Shouldn't it be pitchforks, lava, and the 2022 version of Death on the Nile playing on an endless loop?
You have half a soul. You have Bruce Banner. You need the Hulk to complete your prize.
This argument will work because the rules of hell are dumb and apparently not decided by the person who runs it. But in the name of all that is creepy and disturbing is going on with this building, did one of the animators take the first 20 Google image results after searching men with beards and then just copy and paste them onto the wall? They're creepy as shit. Isn't this for kids? Why are they staring at me? These pictures are f***ing nightmare fuel.
For the sake of all of Asgard, you must become the Hulk once more.
Betty.
So the reason Banner's version of hell is so amazing is so that we'll believe he'd want to stay in hell instead of returning to his actual life. My dudes, this is a manufactured character motivation of the highest f***ing order. Why not set this in Valhalla? No.
No, you can't ask me to do that.
But do they even need Bruce to agree to become one with Hulk again? If he'd still been alive a few minutes ago, Amora was going to put them back together and send them back to Midgard. Why are they all of a sudden giving Bruce a choice in the matter? This certainly seems to be hurting the Hulk, but why? She's not drawing blood or creating wounds of any kind. Do I need to send that lack of an R rating again?
No!
She just teleported the Hulk from Asgard to hell, and she can't rescue Bruce from falling off a cliff? So she can save him. Well, what was the f***ing overly dramatic no in aid of then?
Fight with me, brother, or die alone!
Not much of a threat, considering we're already in hell.
Loki would be the puniest god at CinemaSins.
Come on!
Who was responsible for that then? Did they just magically morph back together like Play-Doh as soon as they touch? How did Banner know that? I don't think enough thought was given to the science of any of this.
This soul is too dangerous to keep in hell, and too valuable to lose to Valhalla. I will return him to Midgard.
Well, isn't that hella convenient?
You may try to take my soul, Death Goddess, but I will make you fight for it. And your realm has suffered much already this day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask how that works too. Hulk swatted some spectral figures, but what was that doing? Was that banishing them to something worse than hell?
You speak the truth. So I shall take his soul instead.
So why was fighting an option for Thor and not for Loki? Loki just lets himself get taken under instead of using any of his abilities.
I could fight you for Loki's soul.
But we've only got 6 minutes of runtime left and a lot of credits to get through, so bye!
The day was saved by loyalty and sacrifice.
Except, of course, for all those murdered souls that are currently hanging out with Hela. I don't think they would agree with you, Odin. No, don't bring in the sentencing screen yet. We're not done. There's a Hulk vs. Wolverine movie too, which has nothing to do with this other than sharing a pitch of wouldn't it be fun to watch the Hulk beat up insert hero here. Don't skip it or we might make Hulk angry. Hulk! Smash! Well, that ain't gonna buff out.
My name is Wolverine.
My name is narration. Another full minute of opening credits. I don't care if they were meant to be watched separately. You sold and marketed this together. Look, in medias res will always get you a sin, but this one is particularly bullshit considering it takes less than 6 minutes to get us back to where we started. Do you really think our attention, or even that of a 12-year-old, can't be held by starting your story where it's meant to be started?
Sir, I know I'm not supposed to ask questions, but who are you?
Character that isn't supposed to do the thing they're about to do telegraphs they're about to do it by acknowledging they're not supposed to do it cliché.
Do you want us to try for a landing?
Don't bother.
Okay, Mr. Healing Factor, we all know you can survive pretty much anything, but you still have to do the whole healing thing. Do you really want to go into battle with the Hulk while you're... Oh, never f***ing mind, because of course he found a convenient ski slope to slide down. I bet you all thought that the wolf was going to attack him, but ha! He suddenly doesn't, because he can somehow smell that Wolverine is Wolverine and more animal than man, because BAM! Metaphors!
You smell toxic.
And even though he's faced with a tiny man who couldn't possibly have caused the damage we saw earlier, Wolverine will take this as proof that this tiny man did the thing he couldn't possibly have done.
Please, I'm begging you. Leave me alone. For your own sake. Please, go. You're in terrible danger.
Banner will find 1,000 different ways to stay super vague instead of just telling Wolverine what the actual fucking problem is.
There's a third claw that's gonna come out if you don't start talking.
Why would he use whipping out his penis as leverage? I'm very confused. Wolverine and his third claw survived this.
It's me, Deadpool. I shot you.
Deadpool has tranq bullets that can knock out the Hulk. Let that sink in for a second. He has a weapon that can immediately immobilize the Hulk. Immobilize the Hulk! That is game-changing, and we gloss over it like it's nothing. Meanwhile, on X-Men Origins Wolverine, this flashback to the origin story of Logan turning into Wolverine can't be sinned enough. This movie is 37 minutes, including credits. Why the f*** is this part of it? This is called Hulk versus Wolverine. Show us Hulk fighting Wolverine!
You have his DNA, so just let me kill him.
What's even worse about randomly throwing this origin story into the mix is that none of it is really explained. Why did they pick Logan for the experiment? Why would it be feasible to kill him and still use his DNA for future subjects? I shouldn't have to read 47 issues of a comic book series to know what's going on in a 37-minute movie. Easter eggs that add nothing to the story and are not brought back up again.
We are losing control.
Why does he have to be floating and unrestrained while the reprogramming happens? Later, we'll see the professor use restraints that can hold Logan, so why isn't he using them in here too?
And Omega Red's a bedwetter.
One day I will tear out your flapping tongue, Wilson.
Can it be today? Please let it be today. Also, I hope this is just how he usually greets Deadpool, because there is no way he heard that insult. He wasn't even in the room yet.
Weapon X has been pursuing the Hulk for weeks.
Did Deadpool only just get those fancy tranq rounds? Why didn't he use them weeks ago? This Weapon X operation clearly has a ton of resources, and the best replacement hand they could give evil Patrick Stewart consists of 3 claws.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
Preaching to the choir, Logan. Preaching to the f***ing choir.
I mean, we all hate you, but Deathstrike really hates you.
We got 5 minutes of Wolverine's backstory, but we will get zip about why Deathstrike has a murder boner for him. Something that would actually give me a reason to give a shot. Sorry, I still wouldn't give a shit. They're pulling the discount back to tank again. The exact thing he broke out of last time. But of course, Wolverine will decide not to break free on this occasion because the villains have some important betraying to do first. Hey, remember those 2 times I sent Hulk versus Thor for missing out on the opportunity to be R-rated? Well, I'm sending this movie for being far too R-rated for 12-year-olds. Deathstrike is enjoying this way too much to be kid-appropriate.
Deathstrike, don't!
I know she's pissed, but there are so many angles she could have done this from without stabbing her buddy, healing factors or not.
Backup! We need backup!
No, what you need is some of those Hulk cranking rounds from Deadpool that should clearly be standard issue. I don't have Canada's ass in this scene. Wait. Banner comes out of the tank completely free of his restraints, so what was stopping him from slipping out of them at any point? I don't know how effective Wolverine's adamantium claws will be against the tentacles of what appears to be the offspring of Skeletor and Doc Ock, but why isn't he at least trying? Gotta have a better shot than just pulling on them, right? Instead of Hulk versus Wolverine, this is starting to feel more like Wolverine versus Sabretooth, Omega Red, Lady Deathstrike, and Deadpool. And that is not the 37-minute movie I signed up to send.
Oh, that was my favorite gun!
I know there are a lot of people out there that find Deadpool's non-stop bantering hilarious, and you are all wrong.
We need your big green friend out here right freaking now!
Right freaking now.
The transformation happens when I feel angry or stressed. Something suppressing my adrenaline.
Maybe that'll help speed things up.
Or kill him. You might be on a time crunch here, but I still think a few steps could have been tried before slicing his organs julienne.
End of the line, runt.
I mean, it might have been if you'd continued to sneak up on him instead of immediately announcing your presence.
Got any last words?
Yeah, 2.
Those are not words. Those are noises made by Wolverine's claws extending. Here are our villains flexing their weapons of choice, and this should be a pretty cool 4 versus 1 bet. No, they're all going to attack one at a time in the least imaginative way possible.
Let's dance.
Not pictured in this scene, dancing. In this shot and the next, Wolverine has his claws out, but then in the following shot, they've been retracted so we can see him deploy them. I thought this was supposed to hurt every time, so why flick them in and out like this? Everyone just watches the light show instead of actually killing Wolverine as if they don't really want to win at all. Are they worried they won't be cast in the MCU if they kill Wolverine too soon?
Hulk smash! Claw people!
I mean, I guess technically anyone's fingers could be called claws, but I assume he's specifically talking about Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike. But why do Deadpool and Omega Red get a pass? Seriously, can we just kill Deadpool? I need him to shut up. Also, the Hulk is free again, yet no one is talking about Deadpool's rounds that can tranquilize the motherfucking Hulk. No, I'm not over it yet. My sentencing screen got smashed for nothing. Nothing!
Hey, I'm on your side, you flaming idiot.
You flaming idiot.
Hulk, rip off talking man's head!
Instead, Hulk will just toss him to one side, which is an insane missed opportunity, considering Deadpool is one of the few characters who could actually grow his head back, or grow his body back, or reattach his head to his body. However the he works.
Ugly girl scratch Hulk!
I mean, she might not be your type, green guy, but that doesn't make her ugly. Choose your words more carefully, Hulk. Have you not learned anything from Deadpool? Listen, no one roars quite like Fred Tatasciore, but after almost 90 minutes of it, that 400th roar just starts to grate on the old nerves, showing that you can have too much of a green thing. I'm sure this is exactly what a lot of people want to see, but for me, both of these movies have been a lot of punching.
All right, bub. Where were we?
The same place where we were 30 minutes ago, it would seem, which isn't in the slightest bit frustrating or anticlimactic. Whoa, what's going on?
Jeremy mad! Jeremy sin!
Must lie down on pile of unsold Hulk hands.
Hulk smash! Hulk smash!
I'm wasted on cross-country! We dwarves are natural sprinters!
You are no troll, monster. Thor, the creature, like nothing I've ever seen.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Why have you come here?
We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty.
For Odin! For Asgard!
It's over 9,000!
I like to see girls of that caliber. By caliber, of course, I mean both the size of their gun barrels and the high quality of their characters. Two meanings, caliber. It's a homonym.
The lives at stake are not your concern, not even human. But I ask you anyway, be that hero now.
I don't want to.
Department H wants you to find and stop the Hulk before he reaches another town or city.
Go f yourself.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
And then Weapon X will have the most powerful creature on the planet at our disposal.
See, first, you're gonna help me out of my chair, and then I'm gonna leapfrog over you before I break his nose.
Got any last words?
Moist.
Puny god.
You know, people come up to me all the time and they say, what makes aviation gin so delicious?